Hello, everybody. Welcome to my journal. It's not been about arts and crafts here recently, it's just been about journaling, and so I'm going to keep on that note for now. I just don't have my projects at a point where it really feels like it's worth showing anything. I've been working very monogamously on a sweater and a crochet project, and I've got them right here, so it's just like there's this, but yeah, it's already been just such a great day, and this is one of the few times I've been alone, so I just wanted to knit rather than actually just turn on the camera and talk about knitting. So I'm just going to journal because I've been feeling like journaling today. I already journaled a bit on the page, and now I'm turning on the camera to do a little further analysis, I guess, of that journaling. I have been just starting a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I've heard some problematic things about that book, but I am just kind of going with the flow here and trying to glean if there's any wisdom whatsoever in there, trying to glean what I can from it. Anyway, it had this interesting exercise. It's just basically like a visualization exercise. If you're imagining what you want, how much money you want, when you want it, how you're going to get it, what's your plan. And so I wrote that all down and I posted that in my Ravelry group. It's just quarter past journals. Yeah, quarter past journals. And now I'm going to turn on the camera and do a little riffing off here about what I wrote about there. So, this book is asking you to fully identify what it is you really want. Be very specific about it. And so one of the things is to be specific about how much money it is you want. And then formulate a plan about how you're going to make that happen. What are you going to give in order to get something back? I'm not interested in growing wealthy for the sake of just having money in the bank and being able to do whatever it is I feel like doing. I want to have finances because I want to have the options that it would allow me to have to develop a different sort of community, actually. When I think about having money, I know that very quickly I would not have it for very long because I would be interested in using it in a useful way. But money is how you can make dreams happen, and you have to start with the dream first, and then perhaps the finances will follow. I'm trying to trust that sometimes you've just got to let dreams out into the world and just be willing to kind of get started somewhere and not get too caught up in having it all figured out right away before you're willing to share it with people. So much of what happens is just trying to, you don't want to let the cat out of the bag too early and with fear that, things aren't going to work out exactly the way that you planned or things like that. But I think I'd rather openly be a dreamer than be one in the closet. So very quickly, what I hope to do, and the reason I hope to have some money to be able to do it, is I would like to build a community that is specialized for seniors primarily, but also for anyone really. It's just that I want it to have the accessibility necessary and the resources necessary to deal with our bodies and the issues that can come along with that as they age. But I am basically manifesting a dream that I've had, I think, since I was a child, but it wasn't clear, and I didn't give it much thought really back then. It was just something that came to me in a dream, literally, and so I just kind of dismissed it as being nothing more than that. But now that I've been working in the senior care industry it's just been a short time. I've only been doing it for a year, but with what investigation I've done and what I've seen happen with my own family and my own grandfather and my great-grandmother, and just seen some of the facilities and wondered about how my mom would feel going to places like that or how I will feel. And just realize, hey, what about that dream? That dream that I had as a kid kept coming into my head and being like, oh man, that sounds like a total paradise, actually, at least in my book. It's not going to be in everybody's. But to me, it was just a wonderful place to grow old. That's what I wanted to have. And that's, what I really do want to have, actually, in general, is just a good place to be as I live out the remainder of my life, however long that's going to be. And so I had imagined when I was young this large-scale property where there were workshops on it, there were gardens, there was a pool or a lake, there was just a lot of lively activity, but it was still on a more gentle, slower pace of life than this urban, suburban life can feel. And there were these small homes, and it was all done in natural materials, so everything just had this soothing look to it, and it just felt very much in harmony with nature. And I saw there being all of these workshops filled with different creative activities, whether it was carpentry or it was baking or textiles or other food preparations, and it seemed to be a place that was just filled with life and activity. And I keep thinking about how those years, those remaining years when you're coming to the end of your life, are so poignant and important. And I just want to create an environment where people can come to a place of acceptance of just the natural way of life. And the natural way of life is to grow old and die. And to not fear that, but to find a way to actually celebrate life despite its aches and pains and despite its changes. Sorry. There's sore throat. Yeah. So I know it'll have to be me and a team. It won't just be me that will be able to accomplish all this by myself. Caring for a massive scale of property is going to require some help. And, it's going to require some good muscle to do it too. Luckily, my husband is also on board with this wild adventure sounding dream. But I know that it will take more than just us, so it's the thought of having other people there with their families and their kids helping us run this place. It's very appealing to me. Also, just the thought of having the intergenerational community as well, because I believe there's importance in passing down knowledge to each other and sharing our life experiences, both the young and the old, and respecting those experiences and cherishing each other, at every stage. So I think I feel a pull, a calling, something. I think I feel something growing. The more I talk about this, the more that I think about truly how I want to live out the remaining days that I have on this planet. It's like, what do I want to be doing? I want to build a sanctuary. I want to build a place that you can happily live out your days, and as happily as you can anyway, in what is a quite trying and scary existence for many of us. But I just see once our basic needs are met, our deeper needs and our emotional needs can be met. And when I see how that right now, often with aging people, it's like they are kind of shuffled away to a place that isn't very lively and doesn't have a lot of activity or nature or anything around it. And I know that's not where I want to go. There's got to be places like this out in the world. I know there's got to be. This can't be a new idea that I'm having. I would like to go to those places. I would like to get a chance to actually see how they are doing things. Yeah. Just gotta keep manifesting, keep thinking, keep sharing. Because you never know who's going to come along. You never know who's going to hear this at the right time and believe in this vision like I do and help me get there. I don't have the financial capability as it stands right now, but I think I might have the desire. I really think I might. Talking about it more helps. Watching myself talk about it helps too, because it's like I can tell if I'm putting something on. Anyway, my throat is getting really sore, so I'm just going to stop now. Thanks for listening. Yeah, it's just a Saturday, a casual afternoon. This is how I roll. I just turn on the computer, despite the fact that I'm makeupless and in a very shabby old sweater, to tell you about my deepest desires and dreams. Yeah. I enjoyed this, though. I hope you did too.